Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Undrafted Views. We're here. We talk sports from the sidelines. My name is Eve. I'm here with my girl Sha. Say hey.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
And today we're going to talk about the Miami and Boston matchup in the Eastern Conference Finals. We got some stuff we want to share with you guys. And as we share, why don't y'all come join our community? Subscribe, comment below. Let us know what you think about this matchup. And actually, what is your prediction on who's going to actually go to the finals? All right, so let's get started.
Okay, so I have been anticipating this matchup ever since the bubble started.
Bubble started.
Yeah, ever since. So the Boston and Miami is going to be a wonderful, it is going to be a great series. I actually predict that Miami might knock off Boston. Miami is currently, I know, it's probably very unpopular, but I think Miami's grit and their coaching staff will figure out a way to knock out Jayson Tatum and the gang from the Eastern Conference Finals.
You know, I am on the fence as always.
You cannot be on the fence.
Yes, I can. I can like both teams. But if I had to pick one, I'm rooting for Boston. I'm going to root for Boston. I think Boston, maybe not from a grit perspective, but from a calculated way, they can actually take over the series and move forward to the finals. I think it will be a tough series for both of them. The teams are evenly matched up, in my opinion. But what separates them, and one of the things that I think will be one of Boston's difficulties, is that all of their players, they lack grit. I want them to get mad. Now, I can count on Marcus Smart. He's going to bring it. He's going to be down dirty. He's going to get it in. I am concerned about the lack of aggression, outward aggression, I would say. I'm not saying that they are still not good players from some of their players, but I think that will be one of the things that Boston will have to overcome in this series on how they match and or overpower their strength when it comes to Miami.
Oh, yeah.
But they can still make buckets. And buckets is what wins games, right? So I do believe that it can be a competitive series. And I believe that Boston can, based off of, their play, that they can beat Miami.
Okay, so what do you think this series will be? You think it's going to be a 7-game series? Are we going 6? What are you predicting?
It's hard for me to judge that right now because I haven't seen them play together in the first game. But if I had to anticipate on their play within the playoffs, I would probably say a full 7. I think it's going to go 7.
Yeah.
I think it's going to go 7. And it should be a dogfight if they both bring their A game.
Oh, and they will. Oh, yeah, they will. Because you don't get this far and not give it your all. Because obviously, should you win this, you go to the big dance. Now, if I'm being honest here, I think Miami has the upper hand as it relates to this because they have played fewer games to get to this point. And they've been off for several days after knocking off, who'd they knock off just recently?
Somebody.
Yeah,
they just knocked off, I'm going to tell you right now, Milwaukee.
Oh, you mean the number 1 seed in the East? Sent them home packing. Okay. Yeah. So Miami, they swept Indiana in the very, very first round. And then they said, okay, come on, defending number 1 seed in the East. What you got? Sent them home in the second round. And now they're already in the Eastern Conference Finals. And they're all rested because they haven't played in several days. And they don't play game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals until Tuesday. So they're going to be ready. Coach Spoelstra is going to have those guys rested and not rusty.
I hope so. I think that because they were able to pretty much sweep and gentlemen sweep the
Yeah,
last two
basically.
series that they played,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to take another level of competitiveness for them in their mind, because since those games appeared to be so easy for them, they were easy for them, right? To now meet up with Boston, who had to actually fight both
Ah,
series. Think about
gotcha.
it. They had to fight to get to where they are today. Unlike Miami, yes, they had to compete, but it was pretty easy for them. For them to do
Mm,
sweep and a gentleman's sweep, are you serious? So the other teams were not equally matched, although they were top seeds. Well, Milwaukee, right? I just think that um, Boston was able to compete and find their ways to win, whereas Miami, they kind of just won. It
mm.
appeared to be easier for them.
I think they're just a dominant team. I don't
Mm.
know that it was a cakewalk. I mean, they did play Indiana, who didn't really have a 100% Oladipo, and then Milwaukee. I think they beat
No,
them 4-1.
no. Not only
Yeah.
that, they understood how to beat Milwaukee. They
Mm-hmm.
went into the games knowing form this wall to stop Giannis from doing what he does normally,
Right.
and they had already had that game plan in place. I'm looking forward to see what their game plan will be for Boston. What they have had the opportunity to do is watch tape, watch their games, because they
Yep.
have not had to play themselves because they have been resting, right?
Yep.
So Miami has had an advantage because of rest and because of time to watch games and film that perhaps Boston has not had a chance to do because they have been playing in their series.
Mm-hmm.
So Boston will be still off the adrenaline high.
Okay.
And sometimes that can get you through. Whereas Miami, if they don't come ready, they could potentially think they're going to sweep Boston and then be swept. So
Oh.
they just have to, I don't doubt Miami will not be competitive. I just think that Boston will be more disciplined, and that may be their way to win.
Okay. So in terms of the coaching style,
Yeah.
I mean, you have Brad Stevens, who appears to me to be very mild mannered, very analytical, very calm. And then on the flip side, you have Erik Spoelstra, who I think is very confrontational, is not afraid to call out his superstars, and who has the tenacity. So if you compare the coaching styles, and sometimes the players take on
Yes,
the attitude of their coaches.
I believe that.
Everybody except Marcus Smart has fallen into that. Marcus is like he's his own person, and he is gritty, and do not challenge him because
You
it
gonna
will
get it.
be, yeah,
Actually, Marcus Smart can play for the Miami Heat and fit in just fine.
just fine.
He just can. He just can. My
Mhm.
fear with Boston, although I'm still rooting for them, is that they may be easily bullied. And you
Oh,
will need Marcus Smart on the team to help um help fight against that.
mhm.
I'm anxious to see if Tatum, Kimba, and silent Jaylen Brown will be
Yeah.
will a different side of them come out in the series, because if it doesn't, they're going to get bullied. And
There,
just what I
yeah.
you
That's
know
just what it is. Exactly. Because I mean, I'm looking at the matchups here, player for player. And as my assessment, I think Jimmy Butler will guard the Celtics' best player in Jayson Tatum.
I
And
see
if
it.
that's the case, he's going to bully Jayson Tatum. And then we're going to see either him get frustrated, get into some fouls, maybe some offensive fouls. And if without Jayson Tatum, the Celtics have no shot whatsoever of beating the Miami Heat. So if he's in foul trouble, forget about it. Because who's going to step up and give us, at least 29, 32 points per game? I like to
Hmm.
see it because they're not as deep as the Miami Heat squad.
They're not as deep as the Miami Heat squad. Yeah, I agree with
Mm-mm.
that. I do agree with that. I'm hoping that this will pull this Jimmy Butler style of play, especially if he is going to be put up against Jayson Tatum, will bring out something in Jayson Tatum that he didn't even know he had.
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So this may be a great lesson for him because I believe that Jayson Tatum can add an element of grit to his game. Jayson Tatum's a great player. Please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But there is something in Jimmy Butler that I think if most players had would be advantageous for their whole game. And so Jayson Tatum and Jalen. Jalen, get your ankle together. I hope you feel a lot better because we need you in game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. You hear me, Jalen? You come on in. But I'm going to need you to find out what that is because I can see Bam being paired up with Jalen. And
Really? You see Bam? Really? I see Bam paired up with Daniel Tice.
I like Tice.
Yeah. I
Now
see
Tice
that
got some
match.
grit. Tice does have some grit. Tice will have some grit. So between him and Marcus Smart, okay, come on. Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hopefully it's
fine.
contagious. Hopefully it's contagious. And then you got Jay Crowder.
Oh.
If he's matched up with Jalen, like I assume it's gonna be a wash. Because I think what it is with the Miami Heat, they're like grown men. You know, in Miami, they're young. They're young superstars or young stars. The only one with significant amount of time in the league is Kemba Walker, and he's 6 foot, and he's always smiling, having a great time. But I haven't seen him throughout his whole career be nasty and gritty on the court. He's effective, but he's not gritty. In Miami, they're just gonna bully him. I'm sorry.
Don't be bullied, Boston. Don't get bullied. Don't get bullied. However, if your game is going to be what it is, then you need to be more calculated. That's what I'm saying. So Miami, y'all may have that grit, but what y'all don't have is this calculation on how we're going to win. Now, Brad Stevens is, he's about to know. He appears to be very like, I'm going to show y'all how to do this. I'm going to show you in these numbers. I'm going to let these numbers speak to your game. Right?
Right.
And when you do this is the outcome and it ain't working because you ain't getting your percentages. That's how I see him. I don't think he is the type, he doesn't appear to be the type of coach that's going to pump you up where even if you don't have any skill, you still believe you can do it.
No.
Right? No. Like I don't see Brad Stevens, and I don't know if anybody out there knows about Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher, but I don't see Brad being like, you gotta got that dog in you. You gotta make sure you overcome whatever this bully, whatever that is, right? I don't see him with that type of bass in his voice. I'm not saying he's not effective as a coach. I don't see that type of coaching from him. I do believe his coaching is more. I've watched your games. When you do this crossover, it doesn't work. And I'm going to need you to do it this way. Trainer, can you show him how?
Yeah, exactly.
Coach, can you come in? That's what I see from him. But again, I think it's still effective. Everybody leads differently. And each person on the team needs a different type of leader as well. And so he may be able to meet the players where they are.
Gotcha.
I just think that knowing that they're going to be playing Miami, they have to find some type of grit that fits their personality, which helps them overcome any toughness that the Miami Heat will bring. Not may bring, will bring. You will get pushed around. Are you ready to push back and not get a tech and not be, extracted from the game? You got to figure out what that is because I believe the Miami was going to bring street ball and y'all going to play court ball. And you can
Yeah. That is so true.
Yeah, but I still believe that Boston can still overcome that because they have had to fight the other teams. Matter of fact, they had to fight because their previous season, Boston swept Philly.
Yeah, but Philly wasn't fully stocked either.
That is correct. They missed Ben Simmons. But that Boston and Toronto series, it could technically be Toronto that we're talking about right now. That's how close that was.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Boston had to really, really fight. And Hopefully they continue that on. So perhaps for them, maybe the 3 days that they'll have before their next game would be beneficial to them just from a resting perspective, but not from a competitive perspective. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Now, I think there are a couple wild cards in this series that need to be talked about. I'm pulling for Miami, and their wild cards, in my opinion, are Andre Iguodala, a proven champion, and Tyler Hero. Underrated. Nobody wanted him. Here he is with the Miami Heat making incredible strides in this series, and he's not afraid.
And not only that with Tyler Hero, there's limited tape on him, so they don't know how to beat him just yet. They don't know what type of game he'll bring. Now they may go back to some of his, college tapes and things like that, but it's not as much as it is on other players, right? And so if the Miami Heat if the Miami Heat utilizes him in games more often, that I agree it can be a wild card, because now Brad Stevens and his team and the players are like, we haven't really watched his, where he favors. Yeah, we're still trying to figure that out. They may be able to figure it out in game 3, but I can tell you games 1 and 2, they haven't been watching enough tape. They may be like, what?
Yeah.
Where's his weak side yet? I haven't figured it out. So I do agree he is a wild card. Yeah. I think that for Boston, it would be Gordon. Welcome back, Gordon Hayward.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back. I do believe, though, that he is a wild card. I do not think he should start in game 1. No, your ankle maybe still, you may be getting up some shots, and now that's fine. But once you're in the heat of a game, them shots you've been doing, for practice ain't gonna be nothing compared to what you're gonna be experiencing against the Heat in this series. So I do believe that they do need to utilize him as a wild card. I don't think he should start in game 1. The 5 that started in this series, in the Boston and Toronto series, should be the same 5 that starts in the first game of the Boston and Miami series. And I say that because they've already built a chemistry. Now, Gordon Hayward, yes. If you need to make adjustments, Brad Stevens, as the games progress, and you want to now, substitute him as your starting lineup, I'm cool with that, but not for game 1. Not for game 1. And not because Marcus Smart has the momentum. Don't mess that up.
Yeah.
If you mess that up, then you could potentially be scrambling to now get to 7 games. And you don't want to do that.
Right. But the downside to that is I think it would be nice to have that type Marcus Smart come off the bench so you could have some firepower. I'm not sold on Gordon Hayward bringing me firepower. I mean, he averaged 15 points a game. You're going to get grit, toughness, discipline from Marcus Smart. If let's say you get off to a bad start in the first quarter, you want to throw in Gordon Hayward? You think he's going to spark the offense or spark the defense? Absolutely not. And I think maybe having Marcus come off the bench is a viable option for Brad Stevens, just in case you need a jolt. If you show all your cards in the first quarter and it's not enough, it would be nice to have some firepower.
Okay. I just think that in game 1, the starting 5 should be the same. I am not saying that he shouldn't switch it up for games 2 and forward. I don't know what that looks like. If you're going to substitute, perhaps you substitute Jalen because he got ankle issues too. I just think that, and perhaps if you're going to not start someone, perhaps it is Jalen for game 1. So you can make sure his ankle is 100% ready for game 2. Game 1 for Miami, I believe, will be them getting back into the playoff mode because they've been on rest for so many days.
Right.
I believe game 1 for Boston will be to figure out who this Miami team is to us.
In the playoffs, because we know regular season. Yeah.
In the playoffs. Yes. Only in the playoffs. I'm not talking about regular season because when we looked at it, the regular season, Boston was 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But that's different.
Yeah.
This type of game is unmatched to what the regular season is. And we're talking about potentially 7 games with the same team.
Yeah. They're going to be locked in. They're already working on their game plan. What's really nice is because they don't play for a few days, the coaching staff gets to really come up with some different schemes and stuff that, the other team has not seen yet.
That's true.
And that's what I love about the playoffs because of the chess match.
Yeah.
You know, it's the adjustments that I love. It's not just coming out haphazardly and playing a game. Oh no, there's a game behind the game, you know? So that's
And you
it.
know what though? And we never know, because right now, based off the wild card discussion that we're having, you identified that there's going to be 2 wild cards on Miami, and we only talked about 1 for Boston.
That's all they have.
This can be an opportunity for somebody on the bench to really showcase themselves.
Like who?
Somebody on the bench.
You know, I mean, yeah.
Somebody come up. But yeah, there needs to be somebody from Boston that's going to help. I don't know who it is. Brad Stevens, do you know?
You know,
Gotta be
that's
somebody else.
scary. It's incredibly scary for Boston, because if Jaylen Brown can't go, who are you going to substitute for him? If
It would be
injury
Hayward.
during the game.
I know. That's my point. That is exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. Gordon Hayward, he's injury prone. I wouldn't count on him. I'm sorry, he's injury prone.
And if I know Miami,
right, he better put some extra tape on that ankle.
I promise you better get you some push-ups before you come to the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going to test your physical limitations. And that's just what it is. So, hey, Boston, I hope you can do it. I'm looking forward to an incredible series. I'm hoping it goes 7 games, because then I feel like I got my money's worth, you know?
The 5 games, they're not, they don't, no. Somebody gave up. I want people to fight all the way through. I enjoy the 7 games.
Yeah.
That Boston and Toronto series, the double overtime in game 6, and the uncertainty in game 7 to the down to the last 2 minutes. I'm just saying, that is what basketball is all about. But when we got these sweeps and everybody winning, and it's all, and you already know that the team is already checked out, i.e. Rockets. I'm just saying, it does not make it fun for the fans. Come on, give us all that we're anticipating. And I'm anticipating the 7-game series.
Yep.
That's what I'm anticipating. And I want it to be tooth and nail every game. Every game. Who do you think is going to win the first game? Game 1.
I'm going with Miami because they're going to be rested.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go with Miami as well, only because I don't know if Boston knows what they're going to be really up against until they play them in the playoffs. Yeah,
but you don't want to go down 0-1, 0-2 to Miami. So Boston, they better figure it out very quickly.
Yeah, I know. Brad, come on. Yep. But I'm happy for it. That's good. Yeah.
Okay, you guys. So we're going to wrap up this episode. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share this video if you find it interesting, and subscribe to our channel. We put out these sorts of videos all the time, and we look forward to having you to be a part of our community. But you know what? Until then, we'll see you guys.
Peace.